Okay, people, I really wasn't planning on doing this, putting this together, but I know I said I wouldn't, but I actually started on it, so I guess I might as well just get footage. But anyway, so far, what I did was I put the press nuts in. So, I did that. I started putting the upper and lower decks together, and then I kind of realized I started doing some test fitting. So I've been using these I think they're 20 millimeters for the flight stack, and I quickly realized that once I put this flight stack on, it's not actually gonna be enough to torque the stack down, because I won't have, well, what they want you to do is they want you to use these nylock nuts, but they're a bit too tall to actually be used and allow me to get a nylon nut on the top just to hold the stack down. So what my thought was, and as you can see, I also changed out the gummies on the ESC, hoping I can get a little bit lower profile on it, which it worked, but it didn't. I mean, it brought it down slightly, but I think I may have either cut too much or something. So what I'm going to do now is use, I have a bunch of nylon nuts, so I'll use those. And the nylon nuts are slightly shorter than the steel ones they gave me. So what I'll do is, and obviously this is the plate that holds the stack, so you want to obviously make sure you have either 20 by 20 or 30 by 30, because if not, once you put this thing together, you'd have to basically break it completely down to get to this again. So you want to make sure you do that correctly. So what I'm going to do, and I'm hoping this actually works, and I'll use the nylon nut. I'm pretty sure somebody will tell me I'm doing something wrong, but hey, we'll try it out and just see what happens. So, worst thing could happen is I'll just have to take it apart again. So basically, we'll have a stack sitting on that. And this is the rear. This is going to end up being the rear. This will end up being the front. So, and you'll see how it goes once everything goes together. And then too, you can't lose this piece. This is the key that actually holds the arms in place. So, okay, so we'll just set this aside. And like I said, this was the front. So, and it doesn't matter which side you flip this on, it's kind of the same on both sides. Supposedly one side's a milled finish side and the other's not. I can't tell the difference. I mean, I guess this side may look a little shinier and smoother than this side, so I mean, other than that, I don't know. I really can't tell the difference, to be honest. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna take these. I'm gonna take these screws If I'm not mistaken, these are the 8mm. Or yeah, 8mm, I believe. So we'll take those screws. I already kind of have one put together. So basically, you're gonna put this cone shape washer on one of the screws, and that's what's gonna. And make sure you have the right arms, because these arms, if you can tell, see, are different sizes. So make sure you have that proper, and then you want to make sure that this is facing up. Because that's where your motor will sit, and that's going to be the top of the arm. Okay, and I try not to torque these down too much in the beginning, because it's just not, you want to be able to move them around a little bit. I put 3 arms, and then I kind of work the key in after that. So we'll try that again. It worked out for me the first time, but because I did, like I said, I did start putting this together, and then I realized that my stack wouldn't go on correctly or securely, so I just decided to do something else that I hope works. We'll see. Okay, so once I put that on, and then if you can tell, the key has a kind of more pointy part, so that's going to go towards the front, which this is the front. So when you put that on, it should settle in. You have to kind of get the arms in there correctly. I kind of struggle with this in the beginning, so it's not surprising. Okay, so this is what I pretty much did before. I just stuck the 3 in, and then I came back with the 4th one, which should be, wait a minute. See what I did, guys? I screwed that up. I actually put the front arm. I actually put the front arm on the rear. Let's see. See, that's the little stuff you kind of have to watch for, because generally you kind of used to the arms being symmetrical, just being the same, but it's not the case with this one. This one has 5-inch front arms and 6-inch rear arms. You can start to see how it comes together. So basically, if you look where the key sits in the center like that, and it's kind of different on when it comes to the front and the rear, because the arms sit differently. So, and it has to, since the arms are different sizes, it has to angle them in such a way that the whole unit has symmetrical motor mounting points. So I think this is one of the problems with the dead cat designs, with most dead cat designs. It's been difficult, or maybe not, I don't know about difficult, but I don't know if that's the right word, but it's been an issue where the motors didn't sit the same distances from each other, whether it be side to side, front to back, and it caused some performance issues. But this one, I see they work pretty hard to make sure the motor's pretty much set in the same place in space. So that's a good thing. Then you want to take these, because two screws actually hold these arms. So if you notice, these have I forget what they call this, but it's kind of smooth down under the head of the shaft, and then you have the threads about 1/2 inch underneath. Those screws go on the arms here, on the shoulder parts. So you want to take that and just kind of bring that through. And I've already set them up, so. And you may have a little bit of an issue. You might have to wiggle the arm around to get it in there. And once these are on here, this thing is super stiff. Once it's on there, like my other frame, my Speedy V frame, you can feel a slight bit of give. So it's like if you pull the arms apart like that, you can just kind of feel a little. It's not a lot, and I don't think it's a huge deal, but you definitely can feel it. And then so we're going to take this part. This is going to be our front, and then we're just going to sit that on there. And see, this is what I meant when I was saying once you put this on here, you won't be able to get to these stack screws again, because once this sandwich is on here, that's it. So unless you take everything apart, you know, this is what you're kind of left with. Can't get to them. So that's why you got to make certain that what you're doing is what you actually want to do. So, and once again, I didn't really go crazy tightening these, because once I got everything together, then now since I have everything together, I'll go over them all and just kind of torque them in a cross pattern kind of thing. And like I said, hopefully these will work out, because if they don't, then I'll have to pull everything apart again, but I think they'll be okay. I could have test fit them before, but and you don't need to like make these super tight. I mean, just good enough. This one I think is stripped, to be honest. But, and just snug them on there. Should be fine. Okay, so now you can kind of see how it's coming together. And then you got the bottom. For some reason, I really like this, the way that looks for some reason. I don't know, it looks pretty substantial, like it's, I don't know. I like that. So, anyway. Now, so basically, and this is one little thing I had to do. I had to modify this to some point. It came with this 3D printed antenna mount. So because I felt like, I mean, I could have taken these wires out and maybe fed them through there, but they look a little big, so I just end up splitting it down the middle. So what I'll do is, because this goes here, so what I end up doing is just split it. So I'll split it down the middle, and I'll just kind of feed the wire through there, put a zip tie there. That'll hold the antenna for the air unit down. So that's not I don't think that's a big deal. Okay, so basically this is kind of the moment of truth here. I'm hoping that, okay, my stack is here. Okay, so what I'm hoping is that this will just kind of, I just want it down just enough to, and it looks pretty good, but I want it down just enough to, so that I still have a little bit of thread left on those screws. I mean, you don't need much, but you want something. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I think it's a little bit on the low side, but it may work. Yeah, I think that might be okay. Okay, see, my problem was I didn't have enough thread to thread anything down. So what I'm hoping is that'll be fine. I think it will be. Sorry about that. That's my dog is losing her mind. One of them, for some reason. The mailman must be outside. Okay, so now we have these. These are for the camera. These are the camera mounts. And one thing I did like, I don't know if I mentioned, but since they recommend soft mounting the camera for the air unit, the O3, I like that these came with the mounts, because they're just 3D printed little things you just stick in, and it gives it kind of a soft mount. So I'm hoping that helps. So you just kind of insert it in there like that on both sides. It's pretty simple. I think they go in from the inside out, so it's like that. And then eventually those will, when it starts to come together, then eventually they'll sit in like this. And obviously camera goes in the center. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually just mount these to the camera first, and then I'll set them down. I'm not gonna go too far into it right now because I still need, I'm waiting on my motors to come in. I have Zine 2 motors coming in, and they're 1855 kVs, 2207. So I have those coming in, and I have some 6S batteries coming. I have a receiver somewhere around here. I'm running ELRS, so I have a receiver for sure here somewhere. Exactly where, I don't know right now, but this may be it. Maybe, or it may just be antennas. I don't know. I think that's a receiver. Yeah, I actually have a receiver. So yeah, so I have that, and I'll be running. This is a Radio Master. I usually get the Matech one, but I have this Radio Master nano receiver, and I'm not really sure if this is a good option, because generally I use diversity, so I don't know. I may just I think I may just buy another one. That's what I think, because I like diversity antennas, to be honest, on my receiver, so I may do that. I'll use this for another. Maybe I'll put it on my center whoop. But in any case, so yeah, that's basically how it puts together. And then once everything's together, I mean, obviously you have your TP mounts there. So this is how far I gotten with it, and I started to put the Vista on, and I checked, I checked out the stack. It looks like it goes on pretty well. The air unit sits there perfectly. The only problem is that it doesn't match up with the 20 by 20 holes. I'm unsure why DJI didn't put screws where, at least where you can put a 20 by 20 device there. For some reason they made it some weird size. Who knows why? But in any case, I put the camera mounts in, and it looks pretty good. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like I should get the standoffs in frame, but we'll see. I've been watching videos with a few people that had the same frame and they used the whole 3. I haven't seen any frames, any standoffs in frame, so I'm really hoping that I don't have to worry about that, because that was the whole reason that I bought this particular frame, because it looked to me that it didn't really, you couldn't get those standoffs or the props in frame. So that was kind of my real reason for buying this particular frame, because generally I don't, well, I won't say generally, because I have bought expensive frames, but I don't like to if I don't need to. That's the thing. So, but we'll see how it works. So far it looks pretty good. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is run a wire up front here somewhere, so that I can wire the capacitor, because I don't think it's gonna be enough room, because once this is together, I think that's gonna be super tight. You can tell that's super tight, and that's another reason why I wanted to lower the stack also, because it was actually touching. And when I did my my review of the Speedy Bee stack, I actually mentioned that the stack was 16.1 millimeters tall, and that if you have a slim type of frame like this, then it may be an issue, and it was an issue, honestly. I mean, if I didn't use those nylon nuts, then it definitely would have been an issue. But you can tell there's plenty room now. So it's looking pretty good, and I'm really loving this murdered out look. All black with the black air unit and everything. I like that. This is nice. This is kind of my style. I love blacked out, murdered out. That's how my cars are, and that's how everything. It's pretty nice. Now I have to think. I give my quads names, so I have to give this one a name. I was thinking of giving it the name Vader. It's just all blacked out. I like it. And like my Speedy Bee, this is Killer Bee. It's my Speedy Bee, and I got this one I just called Basher. That's Basher, and this one this is Crash Bandicoot right here, aka Crash Gordon. It's the Avada. So I think this one's gonna be Vader, maybe Quad Vader, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think I should name it. Haven't given a name to my Cinewhoop or my iFlight 7-inch yet. Those are later projects. I may work on my 7-inch next though. I'm not sure. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna try to keep bringing you guys stuff like this. If I find something interesting, or you find something interesting, let me know, and I'll try to bring it to the channel. But in any case, hit that subscribe button. Peace.